Hello, I'm Rodrigo Lima. I'm going to introduce you to the relevant importance of internal audit. I'm going to talk about all my work back in Brazil that I worked 5 years there as an internal auditor. So it's going to be basically an overview of internal audit function and the corporate governance. So let's start. What's the role of internal audit and why it's relevant? I researched for some authors and I found Brolier that defines the object of internal audit in two parts. The definition of the IIA, the Institute of Internal Auditor, clearly states the internal audit strives to achieve two major aims. First, the creation and growth of the company value, and secondly, the optimization of business process. This should be achieved by operational improvements and the reduction of risk through consulting, assurance activities, and supported by appropriate risk management. So I went to the Institute of Internal Audit that summarized the relevance of the following statements. As its simplest, internal audit involves identifying the risks that could keep the organization from achieving its goals, making sure the organizational leaders know about the risk and proactively recommend improvements to help reduce the risks. So I'm going to divide the presentation in three main parts as following the next slides. So the essential function of internal audit area, there's many aspects that I could talk about, like risk management, corporate governance, operation efficiency and effectiveness, compliance with law and regulations, and financial statements, and some more. But I'm going to focus on three aspects of the internal audit area. First one, I'm going to talk more about the better evaluation of the risk in order to protect assets with the reduction of fraud. It's called risk-based audit. The second one is higher assurance of compliance with law and regulations. Make sure your company has all the compliance with all the regulations or law that your company can be legal or not. And provided also the third function of internal audit is to provide effectiveness and efficiency of the operations, allocating scarce resource effectively. Me as an economist, I learned in university that we should allocate all the resources that we have in an effective way. So that's our function as economists and also as an auditor. So I have to see all the assets and all the labor, if all is going to be efficient, and if yes, okay, we are in the right path. If not, we can do some recommendation and do some action plans. So I'm going to do first the risk evaluation. The risk-based audit stands and improves the risk assessment model, altering the audit perspective. Instead of looking at business process as something that is viewed as within a control system, the auditor analyzes as a risk environment. It's look ahead party. So it's a risk-centric audit, adds more value to organization than a control-only audit. So this kind of the risk-based audit goes in the future. So see which risks of the company are the highest. We have like very high, medium, low. So in this audit, we're gonna focus more on the very high risks. So the internal auditor do like this. They see which risks are the highest, and to add more value to the organization, internal auditors would move on, focus on the past to focus on the future. So the auditors focus his attention on risks, only the very high risks. Depending on the size of your team, you can like focus on medium and low, but most of them they focus more on very high. And compliance with laws. Internal audit aims to assess whether the corporation, through the risk management process, knows and manages the main risks and whether the internal control system is sufficient to mitigate operational threats, including compliance risks. So this internal audit performs two basic types of evaluation: of regulatory and performance, also known as operation audit. It evaluates the transactions we carry and in accordance with the law, norms, regulation, policy, and procedures. We see if the area is following the procedure or the policy, and if there's any gap, we should do some recommendation to the area so the area could adjust and make better its work. So as I said before, it's always based on risk involved. So all the areas that are gonna control internal controls, they have to mitigate the risks by following the rules. That's the main point of the compliance law. Only follow the rules and make sure you got all this followed. Effectiveness and efficient. Sometimes both terms are confused and give them the same meaning. However, differences are vital to our professional development. We can act efficiently without effectiveness and act effectively without efficient. So the challenge is the awareness of acting with balance. First of all, efficiency is task and your focus. The relationship between the resource used in a project and the achievement made with it. For example, if we perform 10 hours the same amount of work we used to do in 12 hours, we were efficient. So if we do our work better, with more productivity, we can work better. So we can be efficient. But in other sides, the effectiveness, the goals is near focus, is defining the level of achievement of the goals and objectives. So basically, the efficient, you can be efficient without being effectiveness, so that's the difference. So the audit area perform an independent examination evaluation regarding the performance of the company and the operational process, as well as the application and adequacy as its resource and its administration, carried out by professionals with the purpose of issuing a report to make a recommendation contributing to the optimization of the economy, efficient effectiveness, and compliance with business management. So this is going to be the APA reference that I did. So that's my presentation. Thank you.